out on a lot of cultural icons and moments. For example, had no idea Heath Ledger died until the memoriam and the Oscars. I got halfway through Captain Phillips before I was like, is that Tom Hanks? I still don't know who Lady Gaga is. So I looked up Stuart Edge. I looked up the Edge here and just to see if I can familiarize myself with him. And earlier tonight when we were doing our rehearsals and mic check, I was asking him backstage, is Bono coming? Is Bono going to be here? And he kept looking at me weird. And I realized I looked up the wrong Edge. So I got that going for me. Thank you. Thank you guys for being here tonight and on time to see me. The real smart ones are the ones who are going to show up about 20 minutes from now because they'll skip this part. But thank you for being here to come laugh at me. I appreciate that. This is the best night of my life so far, and I'm happy that you're here with me. I saw a kid say that the other day. This is the best day of my life. He was like 6 years old, and I thought, you peaked, man. What if it was the best day of his life? That's so sad. Just imagine all the other things. The summer when you're 17, your first car. He'll walk down the aisle with his new bride. She'll whisper in his ear, is this the best day of your life? And he has to answer, no. My mom gave me a balloon when I was 6. That was the best day of my life. So I've been living here in Rexburg for a few years now. I got here the same as most of us got here. I wasn't smart enough for BYU, so they punished me up here. I love it here. I do. I recently graduated, but I went to a university down the street. You may have heard of it. They have this thing where you can't have a beard there, but you are allowed to have a mustache. Really weird, because they're basically saying you're not allowed to look like a man, but you're allowed to look like a pedophile. So never got it figured out. I don't know. But I'm very happy to be here in Rexburg. I've learned to love this town and all its quirks and intricacies. I really do love being here. One thing that I never got over, though, is how little this town does when it snows outside to clean up their streets. It's like talking to a teenager. I'm like, please just clean up your room. He's like, it's just going to get dirty again. That's kind of Rexburg's feeling with snow. It's like, it's just going to snow again. Why are we plowing now? It's just going to snow again tomorrow. I'm like, I know you're right, but can we please do something to keep this town just a little nice? We got visitors coming by. What's really frustrating is when you're driving and you see a snowplow, but his shovel is up. Like, all you have to do is lower that thing and literally nothing else. Just do the rest of your daily routine. Keep going to Brolum's or wherever you're going. Just maybe get some of this out of the way. So yeah, like I said, my job here is to kind of warm you guys up, get you excited. So since this is a comedy show, I do want to get some cheering going on. If you've been to an improv show before, they usually have you do like a 10-night, 8-7 kind of cheering. We're not going to do that because I don't want you to think that I'm making up the set as I go. But we are going to do some cheers. So just by applause and cheering, if you have seen me before tonight, just let's get a little cheer. All right, there, one over there. Cool. That's about what I thought. I know most of you don't know me, and that's okay. So cheer if you farted already tonight. There we go. There we go. A little quiet. That silence is the sound of liars. I know the number's bigger than that. So cheer. I got to see. Cheer if you're going to kiss someone tonight. So I've done this before in other shows, and I love doing this. Here's what happened. Not sure if you saw it, but I saw it. Some guy cheered, and the girl he was next to didn't. And I just made it really uncomfortable for the rest of the night. I'm genuinely sorry about that, but I needed a laugh, so thank you. Cheer if you're excited for Stuart Edge tonight, huh? I know none of you are cheering for me, but my ego is going to pretend you are, so I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I know nobody really knows who I am except for like those 4 people over there. I think there's 6, actually. Nobody knows who I am. They're like, who's this fat kid on stage telling jokes? For the record, I'm not fat. I'm depressed. It's really easy to get fat when you're depressed, though, because every time you go to the grocery store, those kids on those cookies always look so happy. Running in the fields, holding a sleeve of Chips Ahoy, and you're like, yeah, maybe it'll bring me that happiness. They never show you the truth. Like, there's never a guy on a picture of, like, or on a box of goldfish, you know, who's all, like, eating the crackers at 3 a.m., watching Joel Osteen because he can't sleep again. Never see that one, but it's true. I do have depression. I have what's been diagnosed as bipolar depression, which sounds made up. I think my doctor made that one up to get me out of her office. I don't know. I never followed up. Having bipolar depression is tough. It's okay. I didn't think that'd be the best joke of the night. Just wait, we got some worse ones. And it's hard. The hardest part about having bipolar depression is you never seem to match people's standards of what depression should be. Like, you have to put on a show and, like, I'm depressed, you know, just for their standards of what depression should be. I don't like doing that because it's depressing. It's kind of not fun to watch, and I don't like being that. So, yes, I'm lying to myself, but I'm happier. So, trust me, I've hit the lows. I've gone to a Burger King just so I could hear someone talk to me. I've been there. And I don't mean to poke fun at other people who might have depression. Where are my anxiety people at? Oh, that's hilarious. Together, we're afraid. I don't mean to poke fun at people who have depression. I am serious. I do have something, or I do have this issue. You know, like, everyone has different levels and different intensities of depression and anxiety, and I respect that. Some people are just like, I'm so depressed, I haven't eaten anything today. Well, I'm so depressed, all I've done is eaten today. I'm so depressed that I don't have the energy and motivation to contribute to this conversation. Different levels like that, you know? I hear voices. It's true. In my head. It sucks because they never talk to me. They always talk to themselves, making plans for the weekend. They know I'm there. They just don't care. I always mention that it sounds fun, too. And it's like, yeah, shut up, kid. I hate the term suffer from depression. It just sounds so bad because sometimes, and bear with me here, sometimes depression can be a blessing. You know, like when you don't want to mow your aunt's lawn. Or when you need an excuse to eat an entire sleeve of cookies. Or when you're failing classes again and your depression says, don't worry, I got this. Hey, principal nerd, it was me. I'm the depression. I'm the one failing the classes. And then the school buys it, and so they give you another chance, and you're really hopeful that the next semester you might actually pass classes, and you're really hopeful that maybe the depression might not be around this time because it has been kind of holding you down, and you're wondering maybe this time I might actually pass my classes and not have depression around me and have maybe for once in my life a normal day. So yeah, it's a blessing like that. I did the 23andMe test the other day. Anyone done those? Like 3, okay. This joke might not be funny then. I did a 23andMe test, and to no surprise, the results came back, and I am very white. Like, no diversity at all. The most diversity my ancestry gets is my great-grandma's chicken enchilada recipe. It's very delicious, completely unauthentic, and full of corn. Muy bueno. I'm so white that my results came back with a letter of recommendation from Mike Pence. I'm so white that I know every word to Hamilton. I'm so white that the cast of the Black Panther made me a little uneasy. And what really weirds me out is, how do we know how this 23andMe thing works? I never saw any follow-up. I sent a spit-filled tube to some lab. For all I know, there's just some weirdo who's taken all those vials and just going, earthy, Norway. France. And Uganda. Ethiopia. Like a warm night on a sandy beach. Egypt. There's a little bit of a Slavic feel in there. Lithuania. And Sweden? Sweden. This is the same glass as earlier. It just tasted really good. I put the glass down. Theater people take note. But who knows? I don't know how it works. Maybe it's just some guy who needs to unwind at the end of the day. So he takes all these vials and he's like, all right, Italian Mandarin, sweet. And then just sits in a bathtub and he's just like, yeah! Oh! Today was so hard. I needed this. Oh! Yeah! What am I doing with my life? This is the biggest night of my career, and I'm opening for maybe 200 people in Rexburg. Meanwhile, some guy is having the night of his life soaking in 23andMe tests. Hey, if you want to see me after the show, you might be able to find me at Taco Bell. Everyone have a good Valentine's Day? I didn't. In fact, I didn't even know it was Valentine's Day until 7:30 at night. The cashier at Taco Bell wished me a happy Valentine's Day, and I was like, oh yeah, that's today. And then I went and played Dungeons and Dragons to remind myself how lonely I really am. Any D&D players out there? Okay, so that's my group. D&D is really crazy. Because, you want it to be cool, like Stranger Things or those other movies you see where, it ends in you fighting some kind of monster. But in reality, it just kind of turns into an intervention where everybody's going, this is why nobody likes you, Brian! Gosh, yes, we're going to go into the room. Brian, make a decision next time. So that's Dungeons and Dragons for you. So thank you again. My name is Tanner Rolfe. I've been doing this for a little bit now, for a few years, but it's mostly been smaller shows. This is, I kid you not, the biggest show I've done so far. But thank you. Thank you. I am looking to expand that and do a little more. So if you guys want to follow me in my future endeavors, I am working on a TV show with a few people. Not a joke. I'm working on a TV show, and we're going to be looking for some funding for that in the future, and we're going to be doing some filming. So if you want to follow that, you can follow me on Instagram at TanTanRolf. That's RAHLF, TanTanRolf. So I've got that going on. I've got some other shows lined up and some other big plans coming up. So if you want to stay up to date and if you want to see some of my older shows I've done to much smaller venues, you can find me on YouTube if you just look up Tanner K. Rolfe, or on Instagram. That's where I'm most active. Just a little plug because I'm not going to get this opportunity again. Moving on. I used to work for this program. I'm sure being here in Rexburg, many of you have heard of it. There's a little program called Especially for Youth, EFY for short. No reaction, so nobody has heard of it. All right. EFY, for those of you who don't know, is a program where hundreds to thousands of teenagers get together and scream, and then at the end of the week say it was the best week of their life. It was a wonderful job, though. I kid you not, it was the best headache of my life. Um, teenagers are so interesting because they are empathetical geniuses. And what I mean by that is they have this intellectuality, if that's a word, uh, with emotion. They're able to feel, they're able to understand, they're able to relate and take any story and be able to apply that to themselves and relate to it. And that's amazing because, like when I was younger, if someone said, "What did you think of that movie?" I'd be like, "It had explosions and Paul Walker. I liked it." Teens don't do that. Today they feel, they relate on a much better level than I was able to at their age. They're also dumb as a rock. And I say that with experience because I saw a kid literally almost get hit by a car playing Pokemon Go. I don't remember any moment in my teenage life where my parents had to sit me down and seriously tell me not to eat Tide Pods. So EFY was fantastic, though. It was a great job. I get migraines a lot, though. For those of you who haven't experienced migraine before, consider yourselves lucky. To those of you who have experienced migraines, know how terrible it really is. It feels like your brain is trying to chisel its way out of your skull. Like you've got a poster of Rita Hayworth right here, and Andy Dufresne is trying to escape the prison of your mind. Having a migraine basically turns you into a vampire. And what I mean by that is you hate the light and you wish everyone and everything would just die. So I was getting a migraine while working at EFY. And a buddy of mine who was a health counselor, which means he gave drugs to kids, but in a legal way, I went up to him and I said, "Hey, man, I'm starting to get a migraine. I'm out of Excedrin. Do you have anything?" And he goes, "I don't have Excedrin." I was like, "Well, shoot." And he goes, "But I have something that might help." And I took it without asking what it was because that's just who I am. And it worked. I was actually feeling really good. Later that day, the headache had gone away, which is a miracle in itself. And so I was talking to him, and he goes, "You feeling better?" I said, "Yeah, I actually am." He goes, "Do you want to know what you took?" And I was like, "Yeah, I kind of do." And he just laughed. I said, "You really want to know?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "All right, well, I gave you I gave you acetaminophen and caffeine and a diuretic in one pill. Now, I know from Excedrin that acetaminophen and caffeine are the key ingredients in Excedrin, so he basically gave me Excedrin with a diuretic, which I learned is what helps relax muscles and cramping. Some of you are ahead of me. I took Midol. Now, for those of you who don't know what this is, which is probably mostly guys, Midol is something women take for PMS. And I took it for migraines. And I gotta say, wonderful drug. Amazing. Like anytime I get a headache, I just find a woman and ask if she has any Midol in her purse. Because really, it takes the headache away, and all I do is crave sweet and salty things at the same time. Can't complain, because that's normally how I am anyways. You ever wondered, people have always wondered, who discovered milk, right? Because that's a long question. It's a question we've asked before. Who looked at a cow and said, "I wonder if we squeeze these things, what comes out and what it tastes like," right? That's one you can take home to your friends. I didn't make up that joke. That's long running. No idea where it started. But, we understand that premise. I'm more interested in people who discovered other foods, like wheat. Who was the guy who was walking around going, got some knee-high twigs. Wonder what they taste like. Not good. Maybe if I tried just the seeds. It's better. And then he keeps trying and working on it, and then the next morning his wife comes down the stairs and he's frantic. She's like, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'll tell you what I'm doing. I couldn't make this wheat taste good. I called it wheat because it looks like a weed, but it's higher than it's not, so it's wheat now. And I smashed the seeds with a rock, and it turned into these little tiny pebbles. And then I took out the brown ones, so there's only the white ones there, and it was too dry, and I couldn't have it. So I took that milk, that stuff that comes out of the cow, I put that in there too. And then I took those rocks that the chickens poop out, and I broke those open, and I put those in there too. And then I tried it, and it was too wet, so I put it on a hot rock, and I think I just invented pancakes." Here's blood from a tree. I think it might go good with it. So the other day, I posted a picture of myself on the internet, which is always a risky thing to do. But I was proud of something I did, and so I put it up there. And it got like, I put it on Reddit, so it got like 60,000, 70,000 views and upvotes, which is not like hugely viral, but big enough for the day. And so naturally, with that many views and responses, you get a lot of comments. Most of them were uplifting. Most of them were very kind. But when you get that many, you're going to get some trolls. And I found some. My favorite, though, like a lot of them were just like, oh, look at that fat kid, as if I didn't know already. Like I was going to look down and be like, whoa! How long has that been there? But my favorite comment was a trolled comment. And the guy said, what? No. You need to lose weight, you effeminate twat. If you're gay, that's one thing. But if not, lose weight now. So many things going on with that one. First of all, effeminate twat, two feminine phrases, right? So it's basically like him trying to be a little more sophisticated, like, you girly girl. But my favorite was, if you're gay, that's one thing. Did I miss something here? Are gay people allowed to be fat? Like, you come out of the closet, like, all right, eat as much as you want now. I never went to a doctor's visit and him being like, well, you're a little overweight. Hope you're gay. And let me be clear, I love the LGBTQ community. I really do. I love them. I have many friends who are part of that community. I'm not part of it, unfortunately, but I do love everyone in there. If I can just say one thing tonight, though, can we get some vowels in your name? It's just so hard to say. LGBTQ, you like twist over yourself every now and then. You know, some A's, E's, I's, Y's, because if we're talking about vowels or in people, in individuals who need a little more recognition, Y as a vowel should be up there. You know, lag, attack, I don't know, something. Let's just play around here. So yeah, I'm not gay though, unfortunately. I am a straight white male, which means there are many of us in here tonight. I know that. Only one woo is, well, all right then. The rest of us are just being polite. Being a straight white male means I'm not allowed to have an opinion, which is actually really relaxing when you accept it. You can walk into any conversation. You don't have to worry about your opinion because nobody cares. You're just like, huh. But that's really hard for a lot of people to accept. You know, like us tidy whiteys, that's our word for white people. You can't use it, that's ours. You know, we have this issue where, like, if we don't get our opinion out, we're afraid that we'll, like, explode or vote Democrat or something. Just, ah! But we gotta stop. There's so much noise and arguing in this world, and we can do without one more voice, and we're that voice. So the next time you see someone post something on Facebook or take a knee during the national anthem, I know you want to say something, but just shut up. Okay? You know what the world can use more of? Listening. Really, just listen. It doesn't matter if the other side is right or wrong. It doesn't matter what you think about it. What we have is people who want to be heard. So lend that ear, listen, and we'll find a way through listening to be able to move forward as humanity together. And I truly do mean that. And when you listen and when you start to accept that, you'll get this voice from within that will tell you, if I was gay, I'd be able to eat all the pancakes I want. Thank you very much, guys. I'm Tanner Rolfe. You guys have a good night. Stuart Edge is next.